Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper and I'm here for Scrapbook Boutique, and today I've got this great MFT set called Snuggle Bunnies and a die set from Scrapbook Boutique called Script Sentiments, which has 4 different sentiments in it. I'm going to start off by die cutting a couple of the With Love sentiments and just using some scrap white cardstock for this. Now it is a fairly fine die, so I just use my sharp, pointy, pokey tool to get it out, because there are some little holes in the back of the die to help release the cardstock if you need to. I have the Spectrum Noir. This is the sterling silver. They're the glitter pens, and it's a warm kind of silver. It's not that cool grey, so I thought that'd be really nice. It does actually dry a little bit lighter, but lots of sparkle in this pen. It's just beautiful. So I thought if I did the white die cut and then I could paint my die, you can pretty much do it any colour that you want, because these sparkle pens come in so many different colours. And I did initially do 2 because I was going to run it right across the card, but I changed my mind. Eventually I just ended up using 1. I've stamped out one of these cute little bunnies in some tuxedo black ink, and I'm colouring it with my Copics. Because the grey is quite a warm grey, I did decide to use my warm colours to do the colouring in. So I've got the W family here, and kind of making the bunny look almost like a pale grey colour, nearly white, I suppose. So I'm adding the colour fairly, not too generously, does that make sense? I'm not adding too much colour and not adding too much shading, but come back in with my W2, and then I can just use the 0 to blend it back out. Again, I kind of like to add my shaded areas first in a small image like this, and that way I can kind of work out which way the sun or the light is coming from. I've got the BG families I want to use for his shirt, and I did just lay down the colour to work out where my highlight was going to be initially, because I knew I was going to be doing the BGs on all of the stripes. And that's just the 11, 13, and then on the darker stripes I used the BG 72 and then the 75 to add the shadow just around the edges of his belly. It doesn't make him look round, and when I've added the highlight on his shirt, I haven't added it down the centre. Often if I want to look like the sun's coming straight at you, I'll add it down the centre, but it's just added a little bit off to the right. It just adds a little bit of interest to the image. A couple of pink, really pale pink strokes on his ears, and then fussy cut him out, just leaving a small white border, rolling the paper around and keeping my scissors straight as I cut the border, and that's much easier. But there are matching dies, I just don't have them. To add some interest to this clean and simple design, I decided to use the We Are the Memory Keepers, and this is one of their next level embossing folders. So this kind of embosses negative and positive, so it's awesome. It's a bit of a different sandwich though. I have no tab, so all my tabs, it's all folded up like normal, a base plate, and then my embossing folder with no top plate. But I found it wasn't quite giving me enough depth, so I did just pop a shim of cardstock in there. It was probably a bit too much, but I did get really cool definition on the embossing, and it didn't break my machine. So I'm happy with that. I don't know what I'd do without my Big Shot, although one of those electric ones would be nice. Maybe Santa, don't know. Okay, so I've used my ATG gun to add lots of adhesive to the back of this, and then some fun foam to add some dimension, and ATG direct to the carve front, because I was given some great advice once. Sometimes I'd have luck adding the ATG to the foam, other times no. So now if I can, I add it to my cardstock, not directly to the foam. So the matte medium came out for the sentiment, which is great because if it does seep out around the sides of the, I'm just added some dots behind the sentiment, and if it does seep out around the edges, it dries matte and not sticky. The multi-medium actually dries sticky, so it can adhere accidentally to your envelopes. And I decided to make my own little love hearts with my Nouveau crystal drops, and I'm using the carnation pink. So just adding 2 little lines, and I decided to make quite a few of these while I was at it because you can always use a pink love heart. And these Nouveau drops are awesome, but I don't like waiting for things to dry too much on my card. I tend to bump it over and try and take my photos before it dries properly. So it's much better if I do them in advance. So by having that done in advance, it is going to help me. I've popped up my little bunny rabbit and then using the matte medium again to add my little pink Nouveau heart. And that's my finished card for today. All the supplies will be listed below and also at my blog, and the link will be in the YouTube description. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll be back again real soon. Till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.